Jason McIntyre, welcome back to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, sir. I hope you're doing well.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and certainly we want to get your thoughts. Your article was at least something that really grabbed our attention, and maybe even the tweet that you sent out might have even grabbed it more.
People got fired up, huh? Lane Kiffin coming after me? I mean, what's going on in Alabama? Does that mean people are nervous about the Tide? Be honest. Is there a little trepidation heading into the Auburn game? I got to ask you right out of the gate.
There is. I got to be honest with you. Yeah, there is. Yeah. I mean, think about it. When you attack Alabama and Lane Kiffin goes after you, I mean, that should. What was the nastiest comment you received from an Alabama guy? I'm just curious.
Oh, come on, man. I don't read the comments. You can't read the comments. But I do know people were fired up. Listen, to be clear, it wasn't an attack on Alabama. I understand the phrase leaking oil may have hit a nerve, but it meant they're just not what they were at the beginning of the season. Maybe I didn't convey that well, but I think we can all agree. This team sustained several crucial injuries, and as the season has gone on, that run defense is not very good. I mean, that's undeniable. We saw what LSU did to them. I mean, when you had Leonard Fournette at LSU unable to move the football last year against Alabama's run defense, and this year they go for $150, I think there's something wrong. And then Mississippi State followed it up, and you guys would admit the blueprint is there. Run the ball, keep the ball out of Alabama's offense, and you can have a chance to win the game. And I believe Auburn's got a great shot. And, listen, Vegas kind of agrees. At the beginning of the season, the line was 10.5. It's now down to 3. So, I don't think I'm the only one saying this. I know our rival network has picked up a lot of this stuff, kind of saying Alabama's vulnerable. Do you guys think Auburn is a live dog here at the Iron Bowl?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, listen, Auburn, if they play the way they did and Alabama plays the way they've done the last couple of weeks, this thing may get ugly down in Lee County.
Wow. Uh-oh. You better close down the phone lines after saying that. Listen, I don't think they're fixing to get blown out here or anything. But listen, Saban has – now this is me reading into stuff. Has Saban not felt a little more, I don't know, just comfortable, almost in the eye of the storm comfortable? He hasn't been as ornery with the media. He seems to be cracking some jokes. I don't know. It almost feels like he realizes his team, this isn't one of his best teams. And when I said this wasn't his best, this was his worst team since 2010, they also were beset by injuries, and I believe they ended up at 10-3 or something along those lines. It's not a knock on Saban. He set the bar very high. I mean, they have been utterly dominant in the sport for a decade, and you guys know all good things come to an end, right?
Well, and I think you look at it when the dynasty, and tomorrow they'll honor seniors that will break the NCAA record if they beat Mercer. We assume they will.
What's the line on that?
It's like 47. It's 40. Well, we had to go offshore to get it, but we found it at 47.
They got to get the JV team out there starting in the second quarter. Okay, don't hurt these Mercer kids.
But Jason, is it fair that we hold Alabama to a different standard and we sort of put them under a microscope? Is that fair?
Well, I mean, you know the game. Listen, you start blowing up. Your radio show's awesome. You're held to the highest standard. You are now the trendsetter. Alabama's at the top of the sport. Nobody can deny that. I mean, Ohio State's done some really good things with Urban Meyer. Other programs have done well. Right now, it's Alabama and everybody else. I mean, it's similar to New England Patriots in the NFL. They are the standard bearer. Hey, that defense is dead last. The Patriots in the NFL against the run, they got problems. Well, not really. We've seen this before. Still, they've got problems. And I think Alabama, I didn't write this in the article, I believe their third down efficiency is somewhere like in the middle of the pack in the country. Maybe it's in the 70s, I believe, or in the 60s, but they're not as high as they were, say, last year. And I believe Alabama, they're not as good of a team. And maybe, and you guys would know this better than I, once you've won a lot and you've been to the championship game 2 years in a row, and you're always in the mix to go to the playoffs, does some of it just become old hat and you lose interest in the regular season, and then you're like, oh, it's a playoff game, I got to get up for it?
But Jason, in all fairness, though, when you look at these injuries, how many teams could lose 5, 6, 7 defensive guys and still be the number one team in college football, at least be in the conversation, when we talk about the playoffs. How many other teams could do that?
Yeah, well, Michigan's on their third-string quarterback, and all I'm hearing is Jim Harbaugh's a fraud. Jim Harbaugh's a phony.
That's fair.
Kelly Bryant goes down, and for one half on the road against Syracuse, Clemson loses without him, and now it's like, well, Clemson's resume is kind of shaky. That Louisville win's not that impressive. And, I mean, listen, injuries are part of the sport. Nobody's given Sam Darnold a pass when he lost 3 of his offensive linemen to injuries earlier this season. Nobody's saying, hey, well, Sam Darnold. It's like, oh, guys stink. And you know, in Alabama, I'll say this. That run defense, they better fix it. And all they've got in the depth chart is 4- and 5-star recruits. So there's not really an excuse, whereas, you know, USC, I don't know how many backup left tackles they have that are good. Michigan's third-string quarterback, I believe, he's a redshirt freshman. I mean, TCU, guys. TCU has a shot at the playoff. They're going on the road to Texas Tech starting a true freshman. No excuses. Play like a champion. What was that? Wedding Crashers or something like that?
But, Jason, as we look at Ohio State and looking at number 9 and looking at the way that Urban Meyer's been beat, do we not – I mean, going back to the standard, if Nick Saban would have lost those games, I know your network, the network in Connecticut, here in Tuscaloosa, we would have raked Nick Saban over the coals. And Urban Meyer gets a free pass.
I've been hammering Ohio State. Dude, they've been destroyed 3 times in their last 13 games. They got blanked by Clemson in the playoffs. They got boat raced at home by Oklahoma. And they got pounded on the road by Iowa. What would be the equivalent of that Iowa loss? Alabama going to Mississippi State last week and losing by 4 TDs? I mean, Nick Saban would have been crucified. You know, I mean, let's be honest here. Urban Meyer gets a pass because the media likes him, I guess.
They do. Yeah, you're right. Jason, if I put you on the spot, when you look at the 4 teams, how would you rank them? If I said, Jason McIntyre, you were on this committee, how would you rank them?
Body of work so far, I would go Miami 1. I would go Alabama 2. I would go Oklahoma 3, Clemson 4, Wisconsin 5. But here's the thing, guys. Let me ask you. If Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, are they still getting in the playoffs?
I think it all depends on the teams around them. I mean, if you've got a Wisconsin that possibly runs the table and you've got some champs out there, I think there's a possible scenario, but I'm not even sure if they deserve. They go to Auburn and lose this game. I don't know if we should deserve to be in the playoffs. I mean, we kind of
one loss Alabama. Let's say Wisconsin runs the table, beats Ohio State. I'm sorry, Ohio State beats Wisconsin.
Right.
Ohio State
Sure.
has 2 losses and the Big Ten championship. 2 loss Ohio State or 1 loss Alabama. Who are they going to take?
Well, I would think that you would. I mean, who knows what this committee is?
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one, and you don't know what this committee is doing, because I think they're almost setting themselves up when they, even though they say they wipe the slate clean every Tuesday or Monday.
That's a lie.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, they're setting Ohio State up to put them back in.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would agree. Ohio State will beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. They're going to be like 7 to 10 point favorites, right? And they're going to get in. They're not going to keep the Big Ten champ out. You know, when you really look at the depth in this country, college football, Big Ten has far superior depth than anyone else. I mean, it's a down year in the SEC. That's why if I'm Alabama, I'm a little nervous if I lose this game to Auburn. I'm expecting a classic. I'll take Auburn winning at home. But I still think Alabama will get into the playoff. That's my guess.
Okay, so you've got Alabama losing, but you've still got to make in the playoffs. Now, as bad as this league is, according to what you've just said, if they put 2 teams in the 4-team playoff, what is that going to do the rest of the college football? It'll turn it up on his head, right?
Yeah, I would say it's been an interesting season. I mean, and it's not even over yet. You know, there's still a lot of madness that could happen. I would personally like to see an 8-team playoff. I mean, and this is one of the points that I keep making that people don't really have an answer for. When, what are there, 130 teams in the country?
There is.
When, 115 of them start the season, every single team is 0-0. 115 of them at least have no shot at getting in that playoff. 115, no shot. So what's why would you do that? Eliminate so many right out of the gate. I would open it up to 8. I would say give us your 5 conference champions and 3 at-larges, and that opens up the pool. You know what? I don't care if nobody believes in UCF. They are unbeaten. They deserve a shot. at the playoffs and at an 18 playoff. At 4, I think it's a bit tough. But in 8, I want to see UCF. You know, these kids are on scholarship just like everybody else. They've run the table. They've dominated. Why not? Why are they getting shafted?
And Jason, listen. This is my type of messages right now that I'm getting. Okay, Ryan, you are a butt kisser. You need to move to California. You need to go join Jason. See, this is the type of hate I'm getting here from bringing you on. I mean, I brought you on, and see, the Crimson Tide fans, they're just not happy, man. They're not happy. You picked Auburn. I don't know if we could even rebound and sort of get you some Dreamland barbecue.
You picked Auburn to win, and now people are saying, you know, you should lose your job?
Hey, it's the standard in Tuscaloosa, man. I mean, it's rough down here sometimes.
Man, that does sound rough. I mean, you're not allowed, so you have to pick, so you have to ride with Nick Saban regardless.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, you got to ride with Nick Saban. Yeah,
but listen, for your job, it's much better if Auburn wins this game, right? I mean, everybody's going to be irate. Everybody's going to have an opinion.
No, because
Saban's past his prime. Let's get in a new coach. You know that's going to happen.
Listen. It was HELL losing to Clemson, and for 9 months, Jason, I felt like a funeral director here in Tuscaloosa.
Oh.
I mean, I felt like I was directing a funeral every single day for 4 hours because we played the what if game, and we played, you know, if this, and you know, you can truly say, listen, you can take a lot of shots at Alabama, but they expect to win a national title, and if they're not there, you know, it's like a failure.
Wow. All right, well, good luck to the Tide. I just want to saying this. I know I didn't pick Alabama to win. I just love everything that Nick Saban stands for. I mean, when you look at just America and this country, he came from pretty much nowhere and is now arguably the best coach in college football history. What he's accomplished, where he came from, I just give him all kinds of props. I think Nick Saban's a great story, and congrats to him, and good luck against Auburn.